What's up, outlaws? Welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 2, and today I'm super excited to bring you guys an amazing trick that always lets you get any rare horse in the game for free. This was discovered by somebody over on Reddit, and it's surprisingly similar to the trick we had back in GTA 5 that kinda let us spawn rare vehicles for free. So what you need to do is quite simple. There's a special spot north of Saint Denis, which you can see here on the map right now, and there's like a small house over there with a couple of horses that spawn in the backyard. Now the cool part about this is that every time you visit that location, the breeds and their stats will always change, and from the looks of it, it seems that the game randomly draws from the entire pool of horses, including the rare ones such as the Arabian horses, the Foxtrotter, the Thoroughbreds, and so on. The trick itself is quite easy to pull off, and from my limited testing, I found out two ways to do this. You can either choose to make a save game nearby, close the application, and then start the game once more. This one might take a little longer, but you are guaranteed that every time you go back in the game and check the stables, you're always going to have a different set of horses as well as stats that you're going to get. If you get lucky enough, you won't need to do this more than a couple of times and only reload the game like a few times to get the horses you want, but as I've said, this method can be quite time consuming depending on your console. So if you're like playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on a PS4 Pro or even better on an Xbox One X and have it on an SSD as well, then this might be your best choice, as the loading times should be better than, for example, the OG consoles without SSDs. Another method you can do, which I also did with success, is to simply go a bit further away from this spot, wait for like 10, 20 or even 30 seconds, and then come back to see what horses have spawned again, as different breeds and stats will always respawn as long as you come back and forth between this location. The best course of action here would be to run down the nearby rail tracks, follow them up until the final post and wait there for like 10 or 20 seconds or so. This should be enough most of the time, and just wait there, and this will basically make the game to respawn everything that is hidden or obstructed. Normally games do this to save performance, and it seems that this spot doesn't just pick from one or two breeds but actually from the entire pool selection of horses. Once the waiting is done, just head back and look over the fence to see if there's any new pairs of horses, and if there are, then go ahead and inspect them. You should see them way different compared to how they were when you left them, and they should also have different stats. About 90% of the time this is what will happen. You will see something different compared to what you saw previously, and you can go ahead, jump the fence or go around the houses, check what breeds have spawned, as well as check the stats that they have. If you like them, then just grab the horse and run away with it. You're most probably going to get the attention of cops or somebody will report the crime, but normally you shouldn't get in trouble because you can easily escape and then just put, the saddle on your horse and make the other one go back to the stables, and you are pretty much good to go. This method is much faster than the previous one, but I also noticed that sometimes at least one of the horses will despawn, and on rare occasions even both of them will stop appearing whatsoever. But don't worry, it happens from time to time. What you can do here is go back to the rail tracks I've told you about, repeat the trick, wait for about 20 seconds or so again, and then come back and a new pair of horses should have already spawned. Now the process might be a bit time consuming depending on your luck, but it's definitely worth it, as these high-end horse breeds you can only get for like $1,000, maybe even more, and of course only at certain points in the main story. Like you have to wait until chapter 4 at least to get most of the good breeds, and some of them will only be available in like the epilogue, which is like chapter 6. So you're saving a lot of money by doing this. You get access to very powerful breeds from very early on in the game, as they would otherwise only be unlockable later on. For example, you can get the Rose Black Arabian, probably the best horse currently in Red Dead Redemption 2, and this can be gotten as soon as chapter 2 for free, as I've said, which you'd otherwise need to wait until chapter 6 towards the end of the game to get. You can also get the Foxtrotter or the Thoroughbreds, which can again only be obtainable in like chapter 4 and some of them only in chapter 6, and I'm pretty sure there are a few more breeds or color combinations in there that I don't remember seeing at any stable so far. For example, I was lucky enough to get a max level thoroughbred with gray and black stripes, and it was looking simply amazing. It's a huge horse, it has the maximum available bonus in both maximum speed and most probably in acceleration as well, or at the very least it's the second in acceleration. It also has some very good bonuses in health and stamina regeneration, and yeah, it's just awesome to look at. I am not really sure if I saw this at any stable so far. I might be wrong though, so yeah, correct me on this one if I am. I don't really remember seeing this at any of the stables, but I'm pretty sure there are more breeds in there as well. As for the chapters that are necessary to do this trick, I have tested this out both in chapter 3 and in chapter 5, and it doesn't really seem to matter in which one you are, though I will say that I was able to get the thoroughbred in chapter 5 of the story. Most people recommend doing this trick during chapter 2 or 3 as it gives you the highest chances to get the best horses, but I don't think there is enough testing to say that in a concluded matter. But yeah, it kind of makes sense, as it would be better to take it in chapter 2 or even 3, as you don't really get the necessary money to buy these at that point in time, and even if you did, you cannot actually unlock them at the stables as they are locked until later on. You also don't have access to powerful breeds, maybe just the Arabian, the white one, and yeah, that's pretty much it, but that one is kind of small. A lot of people hate that it's quite small, and it's much better to get a bigger horse that it's less likely to get scared. It's also better at traversing all types of terrains, so that's why I would suggest you go ahead and do this trick as well during chapter 2 or even 3. But again, from my limited testing, it was possible to do in any chapter, not just the first ones. You can also do them in later ones, and I'm pretty sure it even works during the epilogue. I've tested this out and it definitely works. It always respawns the horses as long as you do any of these two tricks. But it's a very useful method to have, and if you're getting unlucky and not getting the breeds that you want, then just keep repeating the process over and over and over again until you get what you want. Trust me, it can be quite time consuming, and for example, I was able to get my horse of choice in like the first 10 minutes the first time I did it, but the second time I did it, it took me like 1 hour and I still didn't get anything better. Like, I've rolled all of the previous save games, I've tested this out with both of the methods, but I kept getting unlucky over and over and over again. It was quite tedious, but don't lose hope, you will get it at some point. It's just that there are 20 breeds in the game with a ton of combinations, so it's basically like playing the lottery. You're going to play it again and again until you get what you want. Now, there are a few things you can do here. Of course, you can abuse this in certain ways. The no-brainer here is that you'll most probably take the one that you want the most with the best stats, so you use it on a daily basis. I would recommend here something like a thoroughbred or even a foxtrotter if you are kinda sick of the Arabian horses, but hey, you're free to do whatever you want because the black rose one is also in there as well. It's just harder to spawn. But other than that, you can steal these horses and then sell them for quite a lot of profit because these are rare horses and they fetch better prices on the market, and there is quite a nice stable nearby. You can go ahead and sell them there, and I believe that this is not the only place in Red Dead Redemption 2 that does this. I'm pretty sure there are a couple more places that respawn horses of different breeds and color combinations, but yeah, for the most part this trick should be replicable in any location that respawns creatures, especially horses. So if for example you find a location that happens to have different horses every time you visit it, once again, then it's most probably going to work in a similar manner to this. We just have to find a different one that spawns more than 2 horses. I have tested this out with a nearby location in Saint Denis, and there are like 4 horses that spawn in a barn, but from the looks of it, it doesn't really work that well. It only changes their colors. They will still be the same breeds once you reload the game or like go back and forth between these 2 locations, which is quite unfortunate, but yeah, this is the best one we've got so far. And this pretty much concludes today's video. I hope you guys found this video useful, and if you did, as always, make sure to leave a like on this video. Also subscribe to the channel, as I would appreciate the heck out of you if you did that. Also make sure to comment down below which horse breeds you've got, what stats it had, as well as how many tries you needed or how many reloads you needed until you finally got it. I want to like compile all of this information and make a general idea on how many tries it needs in order to get the best horses, because I was quite unlucky, as I've said, and I'm pretty sure there are many unlucky folks out here, and and it would be nice to see how much you should expect out of this trick. But I will see you guys in the next one, so peace out.